Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Tuesday night. President Biden before the American people just a short time ago on the emergency evacuations in Afghanistan. Tonight, President Biden now saying the U.S. is on pace to finish this by that August 31st deadline to get out of Afghanistan. That is 1 week from today, to get Americans out, to get all U.S. troops out. And it leads to questions tonight about all of the Afghans who helped the U.S. over the 20-year war. Will they get out too? Will that process continue after this deadline? The president saying he is concerned about the terror threat on the ground with each day U.S. troops remain there. Concerned about ISIS in Afghanistan and about the Taliban, saying they're cooperating so far, but that's always a risk of it breaking down. Tonight, the evacuations moving more quickly. The administration saying more than 33,000 people have now been airlifted in the past 36 hours. The State Department now reporting that every American citizen in Afghanistan that registered with the embassy has now been contacted and has been given instructions to get to the airport. The administration says some 5,100 Americans have already been evacuated, but with thousands of Afghans still waiting to depart. The Taliban today telling Afghans not to go to the airport, that they should head back home, back to work, that there is no danger. But of course, the very real fears remain tonight. President Biden coming before the cameras late today saying we will learn more about the number of Americans still there by tomorrow. Inside Afghanistan tonight, our team making their way to the airport overnight in a tense caravan, past heavily armed Taliban fighters, making it inside airport walls, where they will report for us tonight. Groups of Afghans also heading to the airport at night, boarding buses at a Taliban checkpoint, and then waiting, documents in hand, as the Taliban stand guard, determining who gets through and who doesn't. The president today on a virtual meeting with leaders of the G7, the EU, and the UN tonight saying they are all united in their approach to the Taliban now moving forward. And we have learned that CIA Director William Burns traveled to Kabul for a secret meeting with Taliban leader Abdul Ghani Bardar. Tonight, with 1 week to go before this August 31st deadline, the situation there on the ground. And we begin here with ABC senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell leading us off from the Kabul airport.
With thousands of desperate Afghans trapped in Kabul outside the airport, President Biden so far refusing to extend the August 31st deadline for U.S. forces to leave Afghanistan.
We are currently on a pace to finish by August the 31st. The sooner we can finish, the better. Each day of operations brings added risk to our troops.
The president making the decision today to ensure the U.S. military could complete the drawdown safely with just 1 week to go before the deadline, citing a, quote, very high risk of an attack.
The longer we stay, starting with the acute and growing risk of an attack by a terrorist group known as ISIS-K, an ISIS affiliate in Afghanistan.
Biden telling the American people meeting the deadline depends on continued Taliban cooperation.
It's a tenuous situation. We're already had some gunfighting break out. We run a serious risk of it breaking down as time goes on.
Biden speaking to G7 leaders today who urged the president to extend the deadline. And tonight we're learning about an extraordinary secret meeting between CIA Director William Burns and de facto Taliban leader Mullah Baradar in Kabul on Monday. It's the highest level face-to-face talks between the administration and the Taliban since the militants seized control, but it's unclear how productive the talks were. At a press conference today, the Taliban announcing it's now blocking Afghans trying to leave the country from the airport, telling them to go home, and claiming they want to protect people from terrorist threats at the airfield. The Taliban also rejecting any plans to extend the U.S. troop withdrawal. The announcement making the race to evacuate Americans and Afghan allies all the more urgent. More than 75,000 people evacuated from the country in the past 10 days, including more than 5,100 Americans. On average, one flight is leaving every 45 minutes. U.S. military helicopters conducting a second mission outside the airport, reportedly rescuing 16 Americans Monday, just days after crews airlifted 169 Americans from a hotel outside the airfield last week. The escape from Kabul is perilous. Threats lie around each corner. Afghans trapped behind Taliban checkpoints wait in limbo, desperate but unable to get out.
We're waiting to get through, but they're not letting us at the moment.
Under the cover of darkness, families move quietly with what remains of their lives stuffed into small bags as they board buses, bound for the airport. The threat from Taliban checkpoints is everywhere. This is everyone's greatest fear in Kabul, being stopped and questioned by the militants. Whole families sleep on the side of the road.
Well, that was nice.
And at the airport gate, less than 50 yards separates the last Taliban checkpoint and US forces. For some here, it's a few small steps that could mean the difference between life and death. Tens of thousands have now fled, but many still unable to get through. I pressed General Sullivan, who's in charge of civilian evacuations on the base, whether all Afghans who helped the US mission will be evacuated from the country.
How confident are you that all American citizens who want to leave, all Afghans who risk their lives to help us in this mission, will get out in the next 7 days?
And so what I can guarantee is we will get as many out as we possibly can with the time we have available.
Which implies some will be left behind.
I won't
be.
speculate on that. All I can say is we will get as many out as we possibly can.
And so let's bring in Ian Pannell, reporting from the airport in Kabul for us again tonight. And Ian, I want to get back to what the president said just before we came on the air tonight. He said this August 31st deadline to withdraw all U.S. troops depends on the Taliban continuing to cooperate. The president also saying he's mindful of the increasing risks on the ground there, not only from ISIS, but from the Taliban itself, so far cooperating with the U.S., but the president said there's a serious risk of that breaking down at some point as well. Give us a sense here. You're at the airport. How do you get all of the Americans out, all of the Afghans who helped us out, and U.S. troops out by 1 week from today?
I mean, that is the key question, David, and I just don't see how that is possible. Perhaps you can get all American citizens out. We've seen a massive uptick in the number of airlifts, people going through this site here. The Marines are working around the clock to try and facilitate getting people onto the camp and out of the country. But this is a huge base. There are thousands of troops here, and it's going to take days just to get the troops out, to retrograde the base, and that means there's a very narrow window to get the people into the camp and out of the country. And it seems to me it's going to be almost impossible to guarantee that the Afghans who risk their lives to help us, to get them out of the country. David?